welcome to today's how-to. We're going to be covering adding merge fields and editing our merged letter to correspond to the merge fields that we've created in our merge data here to show up on our letter. So most of our districts have individualized letters for each school site that we use for merging purposes, etc., etc. Today, I'm going to show you how to insert merge fields for the dates on all the letters. So instead of having to go through and edit each individual letter's dates for every session, you will only need to do it once in our merge data, and it will populate into our merge fields that we've created on our invite letters. If you have a mass merge, it is the same thing. It is even easier with the mass merge. But let's get started. So we're going to identify where our dates are on our merge letter. Here are highlighted to find them easier. But I want to make sure that the information that I'm adding to my report coincides with what is going to be showing up on our merge letter. So for the longhand date or the long date, Saturday, February 1st, I'm going to name this one session date, which is shown here. The session date. We're going to add the merge field session date for here. The return date of 1/28/20 is the return date on your merge data. And then for this date, the shorthand date on the RSVP portion is going to be 2/1/20, which is the session date. And I label it session date 2. For me, if it's session date and session date 2, which are technically even numbers, it's always going to be the English side, so I do not get messed up when I'm inserting these merge fields back into our document. The Spanish side will have the same setup. It'll just be odd numbers. So the session date here, the longhand session date, is session date 3 in my merge. The return date is going to be return date 3. And the shorthand session date will be session date 5. So once we've entered in the correct days, so Saturday, February 1st for our sample session, and 1/28, 2/1, etc., 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 moving across the board, I've added all of my new headers because our headers are what the merge data is going to pull from to insert onto our merge letter. Now, if we just highlight all the fields, and if we use the box in the right hand corner, you can pull down and copy information to whichever length or amount of cells that you want to add it to. But when you're using numbers and dates, if you just pull and drag from the top down, it will continue to add, actually, here, prime example, right here. It will add days chronologically. It'll start a count technically. See how 2020, 2021, 2022. This happens anytime we're using numbers on Excel. Now, if we want to just copy the top row here and allow that to funnel into the rest of our information, we're going to need to copy this just a few times. I usually do 3 to be safe. Now we can highlight the entire block of information, pull down with that right corner, and now it's going to be set up correctly where there is no added day or added year in these rows. Perfect. So from here, we'll sort our data because right now it is not sorted. We'll do it by school site first, and then we'll go by teacher, and then we'll go by student name. So, cool. Our data has now been sorted, and our session dates and new merge fields followed along. And now we're going to add merge fields to our document. But first, we have to save this new information because we added information to it. And we'll just save it as sample data on our desktop. Replace it. Cool. Okay, now going over to our invite letter. We're going to need to make sure that the information that we're trying to merge into our letter is pulling from this sheet. So we're going to go to mailings, select recipients, use an existing list. I'll go to my desktop and use our sample data. Open. Yes. Okay, pull from sheet 1 because this is sheet 1. Now we can add the merge fields that we created in our new report or merge data, whatever you'd like to call it. So I want to add what it says here into my invite letter. I will copy and highlight because this is our session date. I will click insert merge field, insert session date. Now we have our return date here. I'm going to use return date there. And then we have our shorthand session date, which for me is session date 2. That way I know on the English side of the letter, I have the corresponding dates in the right language and format. Now when I go to the Spanish side, I have the session date here, longhand session date, which for me is session date 3, because odd numbers is on the Spanish side. Session date 3 coincides with session date 3 in the longhand Spanish version on my merge data. I'll follow the same steps for the return date, which is here. I need to add a space. There we go. Insert merge field, return date 3, because odd for me is the Spanish side. And the shorthand date in the Spanish side is session date 5. Okay. Once you have inserted all these dates or these new merge fields into our letters, we will no longer have to add these merge fields to our letters moving forward if we save it in this format. And now all we'll have to do every time we get new merge data is add the new dates into our data, and they will automatically populate into our merged letter. Don't want that. Okay, now we can go ahead and finish our merge. Now here's our new letter with our merge fields for the session dates included. We have Saturday, February 1st, 2020, correct. The session return date, good to go, and so forth. Good here, good here, and good here. So Spanish and English sides have both merged correctly from the data that we pulled or recreated in our report. Now, just to double check and make sure that your merge has been done correctly, the number of pages down low should be double the number of students that we're trying to merge. So for this particular merge, we have 15 students. So that means the number of pages coming out should be 30. And it matches up perfectly. So we're all set to go. This was the how-to video on adding merge fields to our data and adding merge fields to our new letter. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Brett, Matt, or Jen. Other than that, have a great day, and thanks for watching.